before that one item is done.
That time said, you know how to carry, right? You know what carrying means. As Lava picked up the MVP for Game 1. I feel like it was more of a team effort, but
that this would be a chance for them to reflect it, but no guarantees, right? They were very off-kilter in game number 1. And how much prep did they put into just a full-on team fight? Yes, it's easier to execute, but they came in with a plan, and they've abandoned it at first sign of a bit of smoke behind a fire.
Well, guys, the wait is over. More League of Legends will begin now for Game 2. Kingzone up against Hanwha Esports. Let's hop onto the Rift, find out what happens. Alrighty, gonna hop back into this one as Hanwha looking to get some vision down. I like Tal, played the TP, did pretty well, had the most damage for his team. And now he's gonna go on something a little bit more aggressive with the Jace. Looking forward to seeing if he shook off some of the rust from early on, getting first blooded with the kind of messed up flash, the late flash. We'll see if he can dominate up there.
And I was on the Roscoe hype train, especially from the second round robin of spring onwards. He was really able to redefine his reputation as kind of an iffy top laner to actually playing very, very well on a champion pool that was a lot more aggressive, including mages and kind of assassins that other people weren't going towards. Has struggled in the past 3 weeks, we have to be clear on that. I actually like his choice here. It's to return to, used to be Cloth 5, now Cloth 4. In a tricky matchup, we talked about how there's always a turning point in Akali versus Jace. At least in this scenario, this allows Akali to play weak side. Actually, Akali can't play weak side like some other champions because, well, I mean, what's she going to do, right? Jace is going to range auto attack her, and then the potential for a dive with Jarvan is super high. You can go Cloth 4 and not jungle around top and be confident that Akali will not be in health range to be dived easily.
Take a look at this early action in the bottom lane. Deft and Tushin are so angry
as
that auto attack on the backside of the Q, and Key scratches the back of his head. Certainly didn't see that one coming.
They just punked them. Just walked up and whambo slammed them with Dazzle. Wow. That is embarrassing. But
that's one way to flex when you're in the bottom side.
They got double dazzled without a flash being used. Well, that happened. And you know what?
Oh, boy.
And you know what, Valdez? Kingzone said, all right, we lost our privileges. We can't play split push anymore. We'll team fight against you. It's team fight versus team fight. And what do we always talk about when there's overlapping identities, when both teams only really do one thing? Yes, there could be a case where one top laner has solo kill on the other, but in a world where that doesn't happen, the team that gets ahead often just wins because they've got better items. So we watch the replay here. A double dazzle comes in. Remember, you get the attack speed passive, so Tariq's base damage is pretty high. Aww. And the last frozen snowflake there. Elsa proud because it's a solo kill, it feels like, for Kingzone's duo lane.
Yeah, just straight up outplaying them. He did not expect that, and he did not flash correctly on time in the right direction. Or anything, really. So definitely a bit of an oopsie down there. So good start here for Kingzone, who certainly must have felt a little bit embarrassed after game 1. Now looking to turn the tables here.
Games like this are also interesting to me because sometimes as casters you overthink things more than the players or the teams did. You ascribe them as intentional when actually they were just a quirk of kind of what the player thought, didn't discuss it with anyone, things like that. When I see Cloth for Akali, I think Rek'Sai is going bot mid only. Until maybe like much later in the case. And again, Akali doesn't provide very much if you go to her 3-6. But that's also something Bono could have seen and be like, wait, can I just gank the hell out of this top lane, or do I need to be in position for a counter gank bot? So I always like to check myself before I wreck myself in terms of being like super over the top, next level, next level, next level. And so far, Rek'Sai has had no interest in going anywhere. We'll see what Cuz's pathing options are, because this is a champion where you want to see what a Rek'Sai can do pre-6.
Bono on a ward here. Just looking to help out on the bottom side.
Def was actually laughing.
Yeah.
The gank was coming.
He was laughing.
I mean, they did solo. They did get a 2v2 kill. That was very embarrassing. So I guess it's a smart place to go.
He gained the right to laugh in the lane. As Sangyun didn't seem too affected, went back and bought a call. As, okay.
I wonder if the tunnel was revealed. I couldn't tell from the vision cone there. I don't believe it was.
Look at all the pings
no,
that
there's
are going
the
on.
pings. Okay,
Yeah.
the pings was right on the tail end. Def walks up, and understandably, Sangyun and Key are a little bit shook. First buy came in, just a cull. Wow, cull to a Caulfield's Warhound.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
There's a bit of a difference in the bottom lane as Rascal in here has to shuriken away. Looks like he's just fine, but a nice amount of burst damage from the Jace.
The other part where the Cloth 4 is helpful is that because you're a melee champion whose only kind of ranged ability in lane is the Q that pushes the wave, it's so likely to get frozen on, you can take a bad trade and push the lane in with the Cloth 4 and the extra health potion. So it is important there, so definitely consider it if you're playing on at home. We do see on our minimap and towards the left of the screen, Bono's been chilling for a while.
We're 5-manning the bot lane.
Holy moly.
They are not messing around with this one as some summoners available, but the ult comes out from the Vel'Koz. TP coming in from the side of Nahum, but is not going to get in range there for the sweet Marino. Now Tal has to flash away, but a 5-man dive in the bot lane nets them the 1 kill after all that.
Okay, all right. I believe it. Hanwha Life are not to be trifled with, clearly. The 5-man collapse. The group minion wave, you knew someone was there, but usually it's the jungler, not 2 more people. Rascal finally finds the time to push up. He'll want a turret plate, but he might not get it. Minions should be able to take this down, but I don't know if he'll be unleashed. No. Minions killed very quickly. I didn't realize that was Lava teleporting in.
Yeah.
So Lava comes in, kills the minions. Here's the replay. Whatever dazzle you got wasn't going to be enough for 5. It was a flash dazzle onto Lava to try to interrupt, I assume, the ult charge, but it was too late there. So Tucson kind of played reactive Taric much harder. It seemed like Neon and Cuz were on a little bit of different wavelengths, and maybe there was a chance to dive in, but perhaps without the Void Rush wasn't going to happen. Zone back away, and suddenly there's going to be a bit of a summoner advantage. 2 flashes to 1 on the bot side.
Yeah, so a nice little try by Hanwha. Can't really blame them for that. They have an insane amount of damage there, especially with the level 6 Vel'Koz. If he did not get flashed upon, that would have been even more than we did just see. So something a little bit unorthodox that you don't see every day, but obviously a lot more fun than sitting back and just farming for hours as Cuz now coming in looking for Lava, not going to find him.
And I think you could extend the concept of, it's something nice you don't see that often, is the Taric support against Nautilus. Because if you're going to pick a support with only all-in lane presence, i.e. no poke lane presence, not a Lux, right? You don't want Taric against Lux. That could be tricky without a jungle camp. You know, Taric has always been a choice that people considered against Tahm Kench, against engaged supports, because it's a champion that in lane doesn't really provide much except this, the Dazzle. Outside of lane in team fights has ultra hard scaling. Taric is insane in the late game in a team fight. 2.5 seconds is forever, as 2.5 seconds might be forever for Bono too.
Oh, he's ulting the wall. They're looking for him. Just a Cataclysm desperately. But the Akali able to get over there in time to help out with some damage, and they get that kill.
Yeah, not going top lane, but going into top jungle. Found a lot of value there. Easy for Rascal to follow. Big kill to pick up there. Nice moment for Cousin Rascal, who were looked a bit off in game number 1.
Hey, you got to admire the guts to go in there. They knew that they had the 2v2 win, and they had vision on exactly where Bono was. And even on a control ward, Cuz was taking the red buff away, so you could tell that they were very confident to take that one.
Sorry, I winced a bit because Rascal had to watch the kind of minion go down. His E was on cooldown, he couldn't walk up with no ult and get out for sure, so played respectful. Still, hate to see it. Deft and Tucson being chased down, but again, coming back to the Taric, if you get away with this, if you win lane with Taric or get turret plates with Taric, it's the opposite of being required to take turret plates on a Jace. It's bonus gold towards a pretty assured future. So only Tucson, really around the world. I feel there's Tucson and there's Also the IG sub support, I believe it is, that was in for Balan. I think his name's Lucas, who was also playing a lot of Taric. Those are the only two that you see going towards the Taric. If you can pull it off, can be oh so powerful. The engage range of Rek'Sai and Akali, never to be trifled with.
Rek'Sai and Akali and a bunch of other guys to jump in on the hunt. You know, you got Azir there, Taric to help out with all of his supportive abilities, and you have Kingzone with a pretty nice composition here, especially from ahead, not Behead. That would
Four
be
head?
the
Five
combination.
Head? 3 head?
I don't think there's any 3-head emote, but people say it anyway, because 5-head is, you know, right, 200 IQ, I'm really smart, right?
Yeah, I didn't know the 5-head one, though. I heard LS say it on the LCK broadcast. I did the old man thing of, what is this 5-head?
What is 5-head?
It's one of the good things about Twitch chat, is that I can just ask what an emote is, and some people are not very nice, but usually there's a nice soul in there.
I mean, you could just go on Google. Like, Twitch chat is big enough now, they're actually kind of famous. You know, don't just approach them in
Twitch
public.
chat, by the way.
You know, you got to be a little bit respectful of the Twitch chat. So, but you know, you could actually just search it on Google. I've done that before. I had to do that for Pepega. I'm like, what is this? And they even taught me the pronunciation.
You might have to
do
this.
What is Pepega?
You might have to do this for 5v5 at 10 minutes on Rift Herald. Nope, I'm alive. You don't need to Google that one.
Yeah.
What was your first old man mode? Because you're, what, 27 now? 26?
Yeah. 28 actually in September.
So you're 28 soon. What was your first, like, oh, I don't get this trend that everyone's talking about?
Just in general, or
yeah.
a Twitch chat trend?
No,
or?
like a live trend or like a, you know, app or just a trend that you're like, I missed the boat on this. Mine was Snapchat. When people moved to Snapchat, I was like, what is this? What is this for? I don't get it.
I tried to use it. I'm like, where are the buttons? What do I press? You're like, my sister's like, oh, you just swipe up. I'm like, what? What do you mean you just swipe up? How does that work?
No, because I was right on the Facebook trend. I actually was in on Facebook when it was not open access. It was for college accounts only. To keep in touch with a friend who was on Exchange. This is like 2006.
Yeah.
So I got that one, but then Snapchat was the first where I was like, I don't get it. Do you get this particular play, though? Because Hanwha Life are being very stubborn and not TPing. Might lose an inner turret. Now, inner turret this early in top lane usually only means gold. It's hard to return to. But Deft left ages ago. Hanwha Life, there's no bot side Infernal for 4 minutes, so they need to do something. They're losing so many plates.
It's a plate feast here for the side of Kingzone as Deft and Tucson, they're just playing so far up, and they were pushing with the Rift Herald before with the help of their friends. But just really trying to show absolute dominance in whatever lane they're going into, showing they're not scared.
I did
to fight
learn
at any time.
I did learn what Snapchat was for. I did learn what it was actually used for.
Yeah, what's it used for?
Because I didn't understand the use case. There's relationship stuff, that's on the one end, but the actual thing that it was used for, why especially the youths picked it up so much, is that it was for sending notes to your friends that your mum couldn't see if she asked for the phone, because they're just there for a short amount of time and go away. So it was actually kind of a way of passing notes like we used to do back in the day, Valdez, in class.
Yeah.
Snapchat's the replacement for that. And I was like, okay, this is a use case I can understand. Too old to need to be doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I just tweet out to the world when I've got something to say. Costa, by the way.
Yeah.
But,
or you just
I finally learned it. I finally learned it.
It is kind of interesting what we have here at the LCK, you know, compared to some other regions that have the live audience. We kind of just have, you know, if we wanted to take a moment and say, oh, by the way, guys, I wanted to talk to you about this topic that happened in my life, I could just go off on that for 5 minutes, and if it was interesting enough, people wouldn't really care, or, you know, the audience wouldn't get bored, you know?
We get a lot of compliments about that style, and it's a hard one because everyone's like, why can't everyone else do that? And they can do the spirit of it, but they can't necessarily do the frequency, or because the captive audience, right? The people in the crowd. I'm a hardcore Hanwha Life fan. I came here to watch Hanwha Life.
Yeah.
If you're like, well, this game is not interesting, I'm going to talk about not Hanwha Life, and they're like, but I paid money to watch this.
Yeah.
You'd understand, right? So it is a weird quirk. Now, you can still follow the soul of it. You can do it sparingly. You can direct game-related things to non-game-related things, but it's just different, so... We're lucky to know what the people want. We try to give it to them as much as possible. And that's what all broadcast is about.
Absolutely. Just entertainment, right? In whatever form that it is.
My only true hard belief about broadcast and about game broadcast is the game is the star. Always talk about the game when it's giving something. And right now, no, it's not going to give us something.
Right now, Papa Smithy's the star.
It's never Papa's fun talk and a side of game. It's the game wherever the game is shining.
That's like a stream, right? You know, your own personal stream would be that, which, by the way, Papa Smithy does a stream every
But if it's FarmFest 2019, 30 minutes of no interaction, like people are watching at 5 a.m. in NA, they're watching from all over the world.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you're having a good time, even if the game isn't doing it for you.
Yeah, we just go based off of the game. You know, if nothing's happening, we're not going to say, oh, look at these
Look
numbers.
at this nothing. Isn't it interesting, nothing?
Wow, he's got 20 more CS. He's, you know.
That could be a long sword.
He's a great player. You know, not, you know. We can say that once, but that'll be just about it.
Well, we were waiting for a moment, Valdez, and it's an action moment, so we can't wait for that one. But we were also waiting for that Gunblade to show up, and I'm pretty sure Gunblade is a reference to like Square games like Final Fantasy. Regardless, the Gunblade, it's not a Keyblade, but it's a big shifter in the matchup against the Jace. The Jace doesn't have magic. There's no Hex Drinker here. This is where suddenly the Akali has fangs, and if you want to play 4-1 as Kingzone, it should be much more possible to expect some respect around Tal in the Rascal lane.
Hey, you can't really mess around with an Akali once he hits that power spike. It's definitely going to be a big one. I'm going to be very curious about this Vel'Koz as the game goes along. He did go Glacial Augment, which, of course, did become more and more popular.
It's big for him because he didn't have a Keystone before, right? Vel'Koz was one of those few where it's like
Arcane Comet or something.
Yeah, Comet kind of sucked. Electrocute doesn't really work. Unsealed Spellbook was kind of the best one, and that's always a bad sign for a damage champion, you know, control mage. So, speaking of the control mage, we are getting the full zoom out here, and this is what we call flirting with danger.
All right, on the hunt here, as he does have a stopwatch. Will he be able to flash? Yes, he will. They're looking to turn it around. Cuz stuck in the Cataclysm. He's being burnt out, but the huge Emperor's Divide from the side of Aeon is going to be able to carry the fight in a gigantic manner as the full-time ace comes out in favor of Kingzone.
The Vel'Koz disintegration into the teamfight. Destruction by Kingzone. We talked about how they lost their split push privileges. Just like game one, they roll up for a teamfight. But this time, it's different.
Kinda sit up in my chair straight after that one. I want to see the replay as Nahan just really let it all out on that one.
That was the real-life posture bot coming in and being like, check your posture. This is where we're going to stop fighting. Huge hard engage onto Key, and you might say focus support lull. It's because they're ready for the team fight behind it. You see what you can do as the Vel'Koz. It's why it's good against Azir, because you can go through the wall. But then Nayan comes in, scoops 3, and then there's a battle Azir. Cool moment from the Kingzone mid laner that's been a bit down in the previous weeks.
Hey, you might think, oh, you know, we're fighting in a corridor. The Vel'Koz is going to be doing pretty well, you know, zapping everybody down. But actually, when you get everybody bunched up like that, Akali and Azir together are just going to destroy you. And to have that movement speed to get in position with the Sivir and everything else alongside of it, it's going to make for a team fight like that.
And people don't always enjoy control mages, right? Because usually the laning phase is pretty non-interactive. The payoff, though, on Azir sec play, or the perfect use of the ball into the shockwave, like, that's why control mages make for the best team fights, that's for sure. Whereas assassins are all about picks, is the kind of trade-off there. So, cool moment from both mid laners. You know, it's like Nayan did it better. Maybe Kingzone is going to do the team fight comp better. They're up 5,000 gold, and like we mentioned, if I do one thing and you do the same, if we're both heavyweight boxers and it turns out that I'm just stronger than you, it's very hard for you to outplay. It can happen, but it's very difficult when the items on the left side of the screen are just way better than the items on the right side.
The items will be good, and with that Infernal as well that Kingzone were able to pick up right after the team fight, they are even stronger than the last time. that we did see them. So
you're saying they were powering up in the first game?
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of sleeping. That's the way I would put it. They were taking a little siesta, if you will, in the afternoon.
Oh my god, why do we never think of another word for Farmville early games as siesta? Get it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, people have said that before. Fiesta or siesta.
No, right? I'm saying siesta. C-S-T-A. Because you're just siesta. Get it? It's actually pretty clever, even though it's a pun. Well, no siesta in this game. We've been fighting a little bit more. Well, actually, we can talk about rubbish for a while, so what do you say?
Yeah, it's been fun so far. It's 7-2. And the Twitch chat's not happy about that one.
I think Twitch chat meme now. Another siesta.
Oh, boy.
Hey, we can make it League of Legends. We got to co-opt the good stuff, right?
That's good. I like it. Were you on the phone with Freak earlier today? You're getting those
this is way better than anything
there.
Freak could do. Shout out to David. I love Freak.
Yeah.
His puns, though, not so good. You know he does puns way less now.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, once you do so many, I guess you just run out of ideas, right?
I think he was mortally hurt when people would accuse him of having, like, a pun writer. So he's been like, what if he heard that and he's like, oh, I guess my puns have gone down in quality, and then like put the puns into the, and I just wanted to like put them together for years, right? Like when I re-unleashed them.
And then he hired a pun writer to write his puns after that happened.
I like to think that he did some soul searching and found like grade A+ material that he's holding on to, but yeah, it could be that as well. We're so bizarre, no one would ever accuse us of having writers. We're running real fast, and Sangyun doesn't know.
Sangyun doesn't know that the entire team is coming in here as Bono trying to be a good teammate, but he was a bad teammate there as he gave his life, which means pretty much a free Baron here to Kingzone.
They're going to run straight at it. Remember that it's red side Vel'Koz. He can do a lot of damage over the wall.
If they time it correctly, too, if you get an accelerated... He's walking in. Rascal trying to stop him here, and... well, Lava's going to be slightly interrupted, so now we're fighting 3v5. He is going to go down, and Kingzone will pick up the Baron.
Kingzone actually played that really well. They stopped DPSing Baron around 1800, so the all over the wall was never going to explode Baron. Health bar 700, they turned on it cleanly. Kingzone just doing it standard. We're going to that game 3. It's happening, Valdez. We're going full games. Our first series of the day. Only question we have is, did Kingzone regain their split push privileges? Upside, Sangyun didn't know. He was Scotty in this one. Yeah. Second reference to Euro Trip that we've had in 2019. You forget that it was Matt Damon in that movie. For one moment. That was Matt Damon who stole away the girlfriend. The story is he was filming another movie in Prague, and they just sent it over, and he's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So even though he was a huge star at the time, Matt Damon was, I don't know the name of the boyfriend that stole away Scotty's girlfriend, but yeah.
It's probably Chad, if I had to guess.
I mean, he looked pretty Chad in that movie. You do that, right? You do have those, like, names where, like, if it's Chad, it's Chad, right?
Yeah. I mean, of course, as, well, they finally found a pick. Hanwha have been grouping up as 3 and 4 and even 5 in a lot of these games when they do get behind, and they use that gank brush to look for picks, and it finally worked.
I mean, look, they found someone because they were trying to push 3 lanes with their Baron to blow up the base. Should be mentioned that Azir, Sivir do a lot of turret damage, but don't siege very well, so understandable. They tried to play multiple lanes. A nice catch there. Now, another catch would be important, because then you actually do find some chance to take objectives. They'll take Tariq's flash. This is a nice chase from Hanwha. They should continue.
Yeah, Keebs is going to be running on forward there. Gets the spell shields. As now we're turning this around. Rascal looking to come in from behind. Trying to go 1v3, but he gets knocked up and bursts down. And a trade for the Akali for that Nautilus is going to be actually good for Hanwha Life.
Good stuff from them. They're getting picks. Kingzone try things. They lose further flashes, so now their 3-lane push will be Baronless and also a little bit less fearsome. So Kingzone are botching on the execution here. Now it's Targold.
Oh boy, as just at the end there, it is going to come up, but that was very close. Did not have to be that close. Kingzone playing with fire. This time they didn't get burned.
Yeah, and no threat on Vel'Koz can mean crazy things. So Kingzone need to check themselves, honestly, before they wreck themselves. We know how that one goes, but that's what could happen here. They do have the Rek'Sai picking up the bot lane minion wave with the Dregs of the minion wave here. Dregs of the Baron buff, I should say. But, you know, they really can't trifle with Hanwha Life any further. Hanwha Life, they're 10,000 gold down, but damn, it doesn't feel like it when you trip up an execution like this by Kingzone.
You really got to be careful, especially with a lot of the pick that Hanwha Life do have in their composition. You got Lava and Key and Bono as a trio. Going to be looking for those picks with the Glacial Augment even. As Cuz here with a lot of tunnels. Looking to go mole status and find some picks. They're really trying to make the best of the last 6 seconds of that Baron buff. As Tucson's getting in there in the mid lane. Going to do a bit of damage, but that's going to be the end of that Baron push.
And I welcome that. I think they're going to have to reset. I want to see Kingzone earn their next kind of stakes here, because it does seem inevitable they'll go over the line, but they're at some point doing what they did in game number 1, building Medjais randomly on Karthus in a spot that didn't really dictate it. So walking up here, they want to break the bases. Post-Baron, though, way harder.
Okay, they are going to get the knockup on the Lava here, as he's going deep right now, and he's not going to be able to kill their Cuz. So now 4 on 5, but very low health bars from the side of Hanwha Life. So Hanwha another kill, but the inhibitor was broken by Kingzone.
And Taric ult required just to pick that one up. They need to use so much to be able to take it down. But actually, honestly, with all the wave clear and the fact that they tripped up on 3-lane push, you kind of have to take that as acceptable losses by the side of Kingzone DragonX. They kind of had to make that move in order to break the base, because with all the wave clear on the enemy side, there was no guarantee. So they dive in. Cuz is able to go untargeted, which is why he doesn't die instantly. And actually, if he hadn't have ulted, they wouldn't have got mid lane inhibitor, because he would have died before Taric ult armed. So it looked super Fiesta. He probably didn't need to flash at the end, but it was overall the right call from Cuz. Very unselfish play.
Yeah, you gotta like it. I mean, at the same time, he knew he had Taric ultimate about to land, so maybe thought he could finish off the Vel'Koz, but that was not the case. Either way, it does net his team quite a nice amount of wins there in the mid lane. So now we're going to be setting up for that Baron once again. It actually spawns at the same time as the second Infernal Drake of the game. So looking forward to seeing the shenanigans around these two objectives.
We're always down for shenanigans here on the LCK broadcast, especially when we've had these siestas where the shenanigans are limited. That's right, I'm just using it like it's a normal thing now.
It is. There you go.
All right, we're face checking.
This is what I was talking about. The pick comes in, and this is right before Baron starts, guys. Oh boy, another mistake to the side of Kingzone. Low health bars for Hanwha Life, but they get another couple of big picks.
They just keep running into a brick wall, Kingzone, today. And they did this in Game 1, Valdez, when they had the 1-3-1 comp and said, I want to fight for this. And Hanwha Life just said, thank you very much, and collected a game victory. Now, Kingzone did all the hard work, and they're still running into the same brick wall with an inhibitor down. They already made the cool play. Take that in. Why are they going between lanes like this? Why? As 3 as well. If Taric walks up and alone and kind of dies, yeah, I mean, one person died, someone had to do it. But
yeah.
It's just boneheaded. It's pretty disappointing to see from a team that we need informed. Kingzone's one of our hopes at Rift Rivals, but, well, not like this. You see FPX undefeated in China will be the team that Kingzone's facing. This Kingzone's getting smashed.
You don't want to be in a position where you lose game 1 and then you can't close out a lead, rather, in game 2 up against Hanwha Life Esports, who are currently in 7th place. How are you going to do well up against those Chinese top teams?
And we know how, right? We've seen so many times the how. The highlight reel shows you the how, but the now? No. The now right now is very disappointing. So Kingzone have played with their food, and look, the gold lead's gone down, but it's still 8,000, and Hanwha Live's teamfight comp isn't as strong as Kingzone's teamfight comp. So still, deck is stacked. You've got the ace up your sleeve. But will it just be hobbling over the line for Kingzone? Will they actually lose a couple more team fights and make it a 50-50? You get to 60k gold, and who cares what your gold lead is, right? So we'll wait and see. There's many smart things they can do here. But now at least, because Baron is up, they don't feel like they can go and pick up the bot lane minion wave and use Rascal's teleport. You can impact the fight pretty quickly as Akali with all her mobility, but they've already, face checked enough times. They're keeping all their troops near. See how they approach this last bit.
Sunturret goes down here as we're starting up the Baron.
Yep. Now, the first Baron was probably the best spot for Kingzone in recent memory. They played that very well. All right, the Void Seeker does see.
Will he go for the flash? Well, we do have the flash, but it's not out of the Jarvan, and now they're looking for the blood. Nice knock-up from Lava, but he is still going to go down here. Tal trying to jump in, but this is just a team fight where they are too far behind. Aeon coming in from behind, just going to sweep up the trash here, looking for Lava, who hasn't been trash, but at this point in time, he's not going to be able to do much here. Goes down to that last Q, and we're going to be going down to a game number 3.
And we should have known, Tucson, even on a non-playmaker, is the reason they close this game. Flashing over, he does the hard work with the dazzle into Flash on the Taric. Give him his MVP, he deserves it. His team definitely hobbled over, and maybe we see the way to attack Kingzone DragonX eerily similar to the way to attack a Freak of Freaks in the past. If Tucson can't do it all himself, actually his troops around him did mire to continue this game for quite a long time.
We're already at least going to have 5 games, so that is pretty nice. Good stuff here from Kingzone.
Good first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The last 15 were pretty poor, but they get over the line. Hanwha Life looked in the game, but we knew eventually things would happen. The cream would rise to the top. Kingzone take it down, and is it going to be roll back to team fight, try to just take them on, very much play at the level of Hanwha Life rather than try to play their normal game, or do they return to their normal game now that they found that victory? I'm very interested to see pick ban in game number 3. Do we just see kind of a Sivir-Taric-esque lane and a commitment to 5v5 from Kingzone?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think one thing that won't change is Hanwha Life going for their crazy shenanigans, their 5-man dive in the bottom side. Nearly got them pretty far ahead there in that the second game, rather, the beginning of the second game. So we'll see what other shenanigans they bring out for game 3 after this break.